Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to an episode of Film Filter. I'm your host, Edgar Chaput. This is a new show that I'm trying out. God knows how many episodes of it I will actually do. Film Filter will be a podcast short form. I don't particularly feel like talking on endlessly for hours at a time. I'll try to keep these anywhere from maybe as short as 10 minutes to as long as 20 or 25 minutes if I feel the subject warrants it. And Film Filter will be, presumably mostly just me, unless anybody wants to join me, discussing movies. It could be the industry, it could be the box office, it could be a new movie I saw, it could be film history. Local, that is to say North American, could be international, could be Hollywood, could be independent. Well, the possibilities are endless here at Film Filter. Why am I doing this? Well, I am a film fan, not necessarily an aficionado, but a lover of movies. I have been for quite some time, way back in the day, even before I started university. I had these lovely notions of perhaps going to to film school, and that never happened. I studied something completely different. But, you know, it's always been something on my mind. I've always been an appreciator of that art form. I try to watch movies as regularly as I can. I've read up on a lot of movies back in the day. My favorite home video releases were the ones that had, audio commentaries and deleted scenes and significant, thorough making of documentaries. Though those were some of my favorite, DVD and subsequently Blu-ray releases. Those were the days. And that love of film has never really left me. I'm just entered my 40s, and I would say I've been a considerable film fan for just about 2 decades now, maybe even a little bit more than that, about 25 years. So it's been quite some time. I do have a little bit of experience as I feel awful saying film journalist, but for about a decade on and off, I was a film critic, I guess we'll call it that, for a particular media outlet that was based in the city in which I live, that being Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So that was on and off for a few decades. That was on and off for about a decade. I even co-hosted a podcast that was dedicated to genre cinema. I tried to make the rounds of the cinemas in town, whether they're the big chains, whether they're the smaller independents, whether it's the Cinematheque. The city has I hesitate to say, a super strong film culture, but it's a decent film culture. There's the Fantasia Film Festival, which takes place smack in the middle of summer. That's dedicated to genre film festivals. There is in October, early-ish October, the Festival du Nouveau Cinéma, which loosely translated is the New Film Festival, or the Festival of New Cinema. That's usually around October. And there are a bunch of other little film festivals all throughout the year in Montreal, and I've attended a few of them over the course of my time as a movie buff living in Montreal. I subscribe to a few streaming services. I'm sort of on and off with the whole Netflix and the Disney Pluses. I'm not very consistent with them, but I do enjoy watching movies at home as well. I have a little projector, a little HD projector, and 2 little small speakers. It's not a state-of-the-art 5.1 Dolby Digital or Dolby Atmos home system, but it gets the job done. Although, to be fair, I probably should upgrade the speakers. They are a little bit small. They sometimes struggle to handle the bass that features in a lot of the more modern action movies. Older movies, it's perfectly fine. Even stuff from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. But sort of the modern stuff, if there's a lot of rumbling and bass and explosions, it can get a little bit tricky with the speakers. So that's me as a film fan. I don't necessarily have particular genres that I like so much more than others. I mean, I really can watch just a little bit of everything, whether it's a documentary, whether it's a mainstream fare. Maybe the only not quibble, that's not the right term, the only asterisk I would add to this is that as I grow older, as a consumer of culture, as a consumer of pop culture, I have noticed, and I suppose this is normal, I have noticed that my own tastes change. People tend to let certain things go and hold on to other things. And I do find myself less and less enamored, swayed by what Hollywood has had to sell the movie-going public for a few years now. I would say just before the pandemic, I was still pretty much in the thick of it. But throughout the pandemic and since we came out of it, this is being recorded on Labor Day weekend 2024. We haven't been in the pandemic for easily a couple of years by now. The intervening years since 2019, early 2020 to today, which is September 1st, 2024, I have noticed that I've started to shift away from a lot of what Hollywood has to offer. Not all of it. They're very good people, very talented people working in that city and in that industry that still do produce very good movies, but I don't find it as consistent as it once was, coupled with the fact that my interests have simply changed. I like watching different things these days. So that's basically a very but a drive-by explanation of who I am, what I'd like to do with this show. Sometimes it'll just be a movie review. Sometimes it'll be my experiences with film festivals or movie theaters. Sometimes it'll be about trends. I do like to read up on the business of the movie making industry, so I may have a thing or two to say about that every now and then. Again, like I said at the outset, I do not know how many episodes of this I will do. I try to keep myself as busy as I can, but it had been quite some time since I sat down to record anything movie related, anything pop culture related. So I figured I'd give it a go as the seasons shift from summer to fall, even though September is still mostly a summer month. It does. We are entering the fall slowly but surely. And therefore I wanted to try something new. New season, new hobby, new podcast. We'll see how it goes. No pressure, guys. You don't have to listen to every episode. If the topic doesn't interest you, so be it. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to make some sort of dunderheaded promise of every Friday there's going to be a show on your feed. I have no idea when I'm going to record. I have no idea when I'm going to release these. I'd like to strive for weekly. Let's just put it that way. I would like to strive for weekly. And I'll leave it at that. You can check me out. I'm on Facebook. It's just my name, Edgar Chaput. I'll spell my last name. It's Chaput. I am on Twitter. Although for the life of me, I can't remember what my handle is. Let me just check that out for you. I know it is Edgar Chaput something, but what exactly? Oh, Edgar Chaput 1983. There you go. And these episodes will predominantly be on the YouTube channel. Search for Edgar Chaput. I believe officially speaking, my channel is Edgar Chaput 1793. So that's my full name, all lowercase, and then the numbers 1793. I guess Edgar Chaput was already taken. So thank you for listening this inaugural episode of Film Filter, and leave some feedback. Maybe not on this episode because it was just an introduction, but I look forward to hearing comments in the very near future. Take care.